Unicorn. Hi everyone, Lynn here for Flying Unicorn, and I have a project share for Playdate Thursday with you. Today I'm using Graphic 45s and Near Retail papers. If you haven't seen these, they are absolutely gorgeous. And not only could you use these for Halloween, a lot of the patterns lend themselves very beautifully to Thanksgiving, fall, anything like that. Just absolutely gorgeous, gorgeous papers. Anyway, let me show you what we're making. We are making crackers. Crackers aren't just for Christmas anymore. I happened to see this on a YouTube, on someone else's YouTube channel on how to go about making these, and I thought they were really cute, but I didn't have all the items that you need to make it the way that she made it. So I found a way to do it without needing a whole bunch of different products that, or specifically tools that I didn't have and really didn't want to go out to buy. So here's one that's Halloween. Now I made these specifically because I was thinking about my grandson and his birthday, which is at the end of October, and it's generally celebrated around Halloween, so it's fitting that he would have little favors or even place cards. You could turn them into place cards for his little party. So I have those. Now if you're not into Halloween, how about Thanksgiving? See what I mean about the papers? They're just so gorgeous. You could use them either which way. So let me tell you what you're going to need, and then we'll go ahead and get started. First you'll need some paper, and you can use either 12 by 12 or 8.5 by 11 inch paper. And whichever one you use, you can make 2 crackers out of each one. You'll also need, if you choose to do it, a couple of punches, or a punch. Actually you only need one, whether you go with a deep edge punch or just a regular size punch, or if you don't want to punch your edges, you can use decorative scissors. Okay, and also obviously you're going to need a scoreboard and a bone folder, and here's my little trick, a tracing wheel. This is actually a sewing tool. You use it for tracing your pattern onto your fabric with like graphite paper in between, and it's got teeth. So this is what's going to give us the perforations that we need. Aside from that, you do need one other punch. Now it doesn't matter whether it's a heart punch, but I chose the heart punch because I figured that most people probably have a heart punch in their arsenal of tools. So what you're looking for is something that is wider on the side here and points down at the end. So whether it's a heart, or whether it's an ornament punch, or a star even, if you had the right width, whatever it is, you just need to make sure that the width here, that it's wider here than it is down here. And I'll show you how we'll go about doing that. So let's get started. So I have a piece of paper here, and it is 8 inches long by 5.5 inches wide. So we're going to start on this side, and we're going to score at 1.5, 3, and 4.5. And you don't have to worry about writing these measurements down. I'm actually going to have a template for you on the Flying Unicorn forum, and I will leave a link for that as well. Turning it to the long side now, you're going to score out 1.5, 2, 2.5, 5.5, 6, and 6.5. Now, using your tracing wheel, and you don't want to push really hard because you don't want to make holes all the way down the line. Excuse me. Go to your 2-inch mark and just ever so slightly push here and there, and you can hear it as it's piercing through the paper. You don't want it all the way down because it's too flimsy at that point. Just a few here and there will do the trick for you. And that's it for that. So let's put this away, and let's go ahead and fold. Now you want to fold everywhere except on your perforated line. And we'll do that part later. Okay, so if you want to have a punched edge, this is when you're going to go ahead and do it. So you're going to do it on the 5-inch sides. So let me go ahead and do this one for you. And I'm not really fussy about how I do this. Whoops. Excuse my arm if it gets in the way. As long as it gets done, it really doesn't make much difference where you start. And I see that I missed a little piece here. And you're going to do that on both sides. Let go. Okay, let's get that out of the way. Okay, now your paper is already scored and you've already folded it with your bone folder. So now you'll notice that if I fold it up like this, this end here is smaller than this end. This is actually going to be the part that's going to get glued like this. Where you want to punch, where we're going to punch now, is on this side. You don't want to punch on this side. So I'm going to turn it over so that I have the wider part facing me, and I'm going to take my punch, my heart punch, and I'm going to line it up, and I don't know if you can see that or not. I am actually lining up the point of the heart with the perforated line. And you want to go deep enough, but not so deep that you're going to wind up breaking your paper, and I'll show you what I mean in the next part that we do. So go ahead and punch there, and you're going to punch again here on the same place. Line up the point of your heart with the perforated line. Now fold your paper. I'm going to turn it up like this so you can see. This is where I've punched. Okay, we're going to punch again. Right here, right below it, same place, perforated line. Just make sure you don't go all the way up, because that's where your paper is going to break, and that's going to, you're not going to be able to close up your cracker at that point. Sorry about that, there goes the phone. Fold your paper up again. One more time we're going to punch. And they do go flying everywhere. And this one, and one more on this side, and that's it. So that's basically what your paper is going to look like. Your narrow end is not going to have a punch on the bottom. Okay, and I will have a picture of this for you on the forum as well. So now you can use tape, you can use glue, whichever one you prefer. I prefer the tape. And honestly, if it really bothers you and you think that if you put heavy candies in there, that score or regular ATG is not going to be strong enough, go ahead and use some score tape. So now go ahead and lay your piece flat with the sticky part up, fold it down, and this is the trickiest part, honestly, is to try and line these up as best as you can so that the flap isn't overlapping too much. And then go ahead and glue your side and your side. And that's the base for your cracker. Now very gently go ahead and ease your folds in that you've perforated. And that's it. Now is the time for you to go ahead and tie up, and I'm going to use twine. Thought I'd lost my scissors there. And I'm using twine just because I really didn't have any narrow ribbon that I really like to do this. But I kind of like the look of the twine. You can pull pretty tight, but you want to be careful that you don't overdo it, because if you do, you will definitely rip your paper. And then let me turn it around to the other side. I'm checking my battery because I know that it's probably close to, if not going to die soon. Okay, cut your ends off however long you want them. And I kind of like the frayed look, so I just untwisted the twine and pulled it apart. Now on some of these I added some flowers, on others I didn't. I made sure that I added a word, a scary word of sorts, whether it was, whether you use a pre-cut word or a pre-printed word like I'm using here from the paper, or if you want to use it as a place card, then you can go ahead and put the person's name on there. But this is what I'm using, and all I did was distress it with a distressing tool and then edged it with black soot distress ink. And then of course all Halloween crackers need skeleton leaves, right? These are actually Prima, where's my dies? They're Prima leaves. And I love these. They're just awesome. Alright, so I didn't take out a flower, so I'm just going to go ahead and go without. I'm just kind of hanging on to both leaves at the same time. And of course, you know, because you're in a hurry. That's when the glue doesn't want to cooperate. Whoops. Got my owls upside down. Make sure that the part where you glued is at the very least towards the bottom, so that that's not the part that you see at the top. And then I did use a couple pieces of foam on the back. Okay, I'm back. Sorry about that. I knew the battery was going to die. I was just hoping it would let me get done first. So this is basically what your little cracker will look like. Now I did forget to mention one thing. So I made another one while after I watched the video. I realized, oh my gosh, I forgot to mention when you're supposed to load them up. So I made another one, and I've tied one end already, so this is now the time when you want to load up your cracker with toys, candy, money, whatever you choose to put in them. Now I don't have any candy because I haven't bought any yet, but I do have skeletons. These are like a string of skeletons that you can buy at the dollar store, and I cut one apart. So here's my pieces, so I'm just gonna load it in there. So he's not getting a treat, I guess he's getting a trick. And I think that might be all I can, well, I might be able to fit a couple more pieces in there. Won't be able to get that one in there. So now once your pieces are all in there, you want to go ahead and tie the other end. So I figured since I had to show you this anyways, I would show you one with the name on it instead of one of the words cut from the paper. Alright, let me cut this off. And untwist the ends because I like it that way. Okay, so once again, making sure that your seam is facing downwards. This is where you're going to get, and of course I didn't prep my glue. This is where you're going to take out the leaves that you cut with the Prima dies, and for that matter you could use any leaves. I just happen to like these because they look like skeleton leaves, and I think that's kind of cool. So I just put them together. A little bit of glue on the back side of both of them. And I went ahead and wrote out my grandson's name and then punched it out with a ticket punch. Edged it with distress ink and black soot, and I'll go ahead and put that on foam. Now normally I use cardboard to lift things up, but this was just as easy for this time around. And I will offset it a little bit so that I can put my flower. And this is Petaloo flower from their Botanica collection. I'm not sure if it's from this particular collection or not. The faux dried minis, cranberry, amber, and green. So I guess it did come out of this package. That's kind of cool. So we'll put that on there with the leaves, just in the corner, just like that, just to give it a little something extra. Of course, you could go, you know, a different way. You could use the head of the skeleton, whatever you wanted to do. So basically, that's my tutorial for today. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope that you will make yourselves some Halloween crackers. Make sure you fill them up, unlike myself, whether you choose to go fancy or not. And if you're not into it, how about Thanksgiving? Or hey, go ahead and make them for Christmas. I mean, that's what they were originally intended for, right? And do they work? Sure they do. There you go. Enjoy. Thank you for watching. Have a great day.